All right, y'all. Welcome back to the podcast. Day number 21. But for this episode, I am going to combine days 21, 22, and 23. So just got dropped off at the Flume Visitor Center. There is a 0.9 mile paved path back to the Appalachian Trail where I got picked up yesterday. And I am working my way back to the Appalachian Trail. And today is going to be an amazing day because I am going up to the Franconia Ridge. The plan is to get up to the ridge, and then I will go off the AT down to the Greenleaf Hut, making it an 8.3 mile day. In the last episode, I did tell you all about the adjustment I made. Originally today, I was going to go up and over the ridge and then down to Galehead Hut for 13.4 miles. And I decided that was just too much. So I want to get up to the ridge. It's supposed to be an absolutely gorgeous day. And I don't want to have to worry about, not taking my time over the ridge and having to worry about getting down to a hut. So we just made an adjustment and we're going to stay at the Greenleaf Hut instead. But it's still a big day. 4,400 feet of elevation gain and 1,600 feet of elevation loss in that 8.3 miles. So stayed at the Notch Hostel last night. They are being so gracious in letting us keep the van there. And Stephanie could stay there for the next couple days while I am out and about up here in the White Mountains. And then over the next 3 days, until I get down to Crawford Notch, the van and Stephanie are going to be at the Notch Hostel. And then we will move forward once I get down to Crawford Notch. So there is some logistics on that. They are very supportive of everyone at the Notch Hostel. And there's all kinds of people staying there. People that are peak bagging, people that are doing the AT. They do a bunch of slack packing. And Jessica, the manager there, I brought her up at the last episode. She does a fantastic job. She is on Instagram, the Blue Haired Hiker, or at Blue Haired Hiker. So look her up. The Notch Hostel doing a fantastic job. And y'all, this little bridle path, I forgot it was mostly downhill to the van yesterday. So I am mostly going uphill. So that is going to be the theme of today. Today is mostly uphill. And I'm excited because I get to take my time. Once I get up to Franconia Ridge, I get to take my time up there as well. And y'all, I will check back in probably once I get up to the ridge. All right, y'all, I am back. It is actually the morning of day 22. I am climbing my way back up to Mount Lafayette from Greenleaf Hut. Greenleaf Hut is actually 1 mile down from the Appalachian Trail, about 1,000 feet. But that's okay. We are working our way back up to the AT. And y'all, out of breath already. Yesterday was so glorious. I just forgot to record. Going up over Franconia, you could not have asked for a better weather day. There were day hikers, through hikers, people out running the Pimmy Loop. It was fantastic. And made some notes here. So for day 21, yesterday, it was an 8.3 mile day. Franconia, I put Franconia Ridge was amazing. And the beautiful thing about hiking back up here is I get to see the ridge again from Lafayette before we head back down and over to Garfield Ridge, and then Galehead Hut for this evening. So my notes were perfect weather day. Up on the ridge, you go over Little Haystack, Lincoln, Lafayette, and then down to the Greenleaf Hut. And the really cool people story from yesterday is I met a guy up on right before you get to Lafayette. He was just sitting up there, and I got up there and sat and, out of breath, we started talking, and I was telling him I was out section hiking, and he's like, yeah, me too. Me and my buddy are out. Starts telling me the whole story about how he's been section hiking the trail, and last year he got AFib, and his wife was like, you're not hiking alone anymore. And so he actually met a guy out on trail last year or the year before, and they started hiking together, and they actually have 2 trucks with caps on the trucks, and they are sort of key swapping, and they're hoping to finish around the second week of August. So I should be around those guys. But the kicker to all of this is his trail name is Slow Going. And during part of our conversation, he's like, well, when did you start section hiking the trail? And, I tell him my whole story. And I said, well, when did you start section hiking? He goes, you won't believe it. I said, well, try me. And he's like, 1973. So Slow Going has been out section hiking the Appalachian Trail and has finally made his way to the White Mountains since 1973. And I said, oh my God, that was the year I was born. He goes, tell me about it, honey. Been out here a long time. So anyway, that was really cool, and hopefully I'll run into those guys again. They were going down to the Garfield campsite, and who knows, maybe I'll see him again today. And then there was actually a film crew at Greenleaf Hut last night. They were out working on making a film for the Appalachian Mountain Club and some of the trail work they've been doing and conservation and all the things. But one of the coolest things was they had a drone last night that was probably the price of my house. It was awesome, and they took that drone up and over Franconia, and it was really cool to see. So there was a lot more that went down yesterday, a lot more people that I met, but those are the highlights. And then as for today, day 22, it is a 7.6 mile day, and that does include the 1 mile, 1,000-foot ascent back up to Mount Lafayette, over to Galehead Hut, and today looks like 2,800 of ascent and 3,200 of descent, and we're going to be going over Mount Garfield and then down Garfield Ridge, which is pretty steep, and it's almost like you're in a waterfall. So that should be fun. And then over to Galehead Hut for the evening. So that is how my day is going to shake out today. And hopefully I'll remember to bring out the mic this evening or sometime during the day. So hope you all are having your own fantastic day, and I'll be back in touch soon. All right, y'all. Woo! I am about 1.5 miles from the Galehead Hut, and you name it, it has happened today. So this morning got up to Lafayette, and turned back on the Appalachian Trail and got down into tree line, and then got down to the base of, what was it, Garfield, yes. And holy cow, a thunderstorm broke out. Hail, rain, you name it, it happened. I put on my full rain gear, everything, pants, rain jacket, and I was trying to get lower. So luckily I was going down into like a little saddle, and I heard voices. And it was a group of kids out with their camp leaders huddling under a tarp. I was like, can I join you? They were like, yes, because it was raining and hailing so hard. And we stayed under that tarp about an hour because it just dumped rain. And then, of course, the trail was an absolute flood. So we all finally made a decision. It was good enough to go because they had a little satellite device, and they were communicating back and forth to like their base camp. And the base camp kept saying, hold on, because it looks like it's bouncing back and going to come right back to you guys. So we just kind of hunkered in, and it got chilly. By the time we started hiking again, my fingers, they were cold. The rest of me was pretty good because I had put on my rain gear almost perfectly. I mean, not meaning to do so, but if I'd have waited 30 seconds later, the storm would have got me. So that was a good call on that. But y'all, man, that wipes you out. Then I still had to get up Garfield, and they were working on rearranging their plans because they were going to go south. They were hiking south and going to go up to Franconia Ridge. And their base camp was like, nah, you guys aren't going to be doing that. So they were like, just stick with us until this rolls through. And that's what I did. And we all kind of huddled up and hunkered under a tarp. And thank God. I mean, out of nowhere, there they were. I'm telling you. Jesus provides at the exact spot. I'm telling you. So then, had to get up Garfield in a waterfall. I mean, because the water was just running down the trail. And I forgot, going up Garfield, there's like this wall slab. And I don't even know how I got up it. Grabbed roots and trees and this and that, and finally got up that. And then got to the top of Garfield, and it gets real rocky. And you're walking down literally a waterfall anyway, going down the Garfield Ridge. But it was a double waterfall because of all the rain. And so yeah, y'all, today has been a doozy. And I am going to be so happy to see that hut. So we had it all. We had tears from me, wondering what in the heck, y'all. This is not my favorite terrain to be on. And today is not giving me motivation So I'm going to go to the hut. Hopefully when I get a good meal, I will be revived. But I am not a bouldering kind of hiker. I'm just not. I just like good old regular trail. Now, a boulder every once in a while, or a slab every once in a while, that's fine. But the whites, it's few and far between that you actually have regular trail. Like right now, I'm having to sit down because my legs are not long enough. Now, if you're 6'3" going through the whites, you're going to be just fine. You can step down. Anyway, y'all, I am tired. It has been quite the day, and I'll be happy when I see that hut. I can get out of all these wet clothes, get some dry clothes on, and I'm sure they're probably going to have hot coffee, get some hot coffee in my body, and go from there. So tomorrow, we will be going from the hut out to Crawford Notch. So we'll see how that goes. All right, y'all. Have a good evening. I'll be back tomorrow. All right, y'all. Day number 23. Just left the Galehead Hut. And I am headed up South Twin. It was just steep. In 0.8, you do over 1,000 feet. And I am slowly and surely working my way up. And folks, today we got options. So I'm either going to do a 10-mile day or a 14-mile day. And that is because my original plan is 14. But yesterday, OMG, right after I got done recording, about a mile before the hut, I was in another freak, all of a sudden thunderstorm, and back on all the rain gear and all the things, and all the way to the hut. No hail this time, just pouring down the rain. And I think when I got to the hut, I literally looked like a wild coyote. But the good news is with hikers, you can always find people to commiserate with, because everybody was pretty much in the same boat. And I am whooped. And I'm already going to rearrange some of my plans. I'll be right back. Somebody's coming. All right, y'all. Just saw somebody going southbound. And what did we do? We commiserated about yesterday. And not much you can do except keep rolling so you don't get cold. So I don't know where I left off, but I've got to be peeking out here at South Twin any second. And oh, I know, I am whooped. I need a day off. I need a day to just get my mind right again. After 9 and 10 years of not being in the whites, I seem to have, my brain has blocked all this out. So I'm going to take a day, get my mind right again, change my hut reservations, and carry forward. Yeah, that's all I can do. The goal is to be out here and have a good time. And also, try to finish the trail. But with the weather, you can't control Mother Nature. You can't control the gnarliness of the trail. And that's just the way it is. So we're going to do what we can. And the number one goal is forward progress. And that's what we are doing. So I am either going to take a side trail down around Zealand Falls Hut, make it a 10-mile day, or depending on how I feel later on in the day, I'll go down to Crawford Notch and make it a 14-mile day. Either way, regardless, if I do the 10, I'll come back up and do the rest of the hike tomorrow. And then the next day is going to be a totally complete day off. So that's where we are, folks. I think I'm at the top of Twin. And of course, total cloud cover, but that's okay. We made it. All right, y'all, I'll be back. I had to hop back on here real quick. I just met another thru hiker, and her trail name is Resilient. And so cool. She has such a cool story. She had a bike accident and broke her femur and pretty much shattered her leg. And her doctors were like, you know, you're going to walk and everything, but you're not going to be out doing what you used to do and this, that, and the other. Well, guess what? She overcame that. And last year, she started the trail in April of 2024. And then she fell on the trail. It broke her hip. So she had to get off trail and, got a whole new hip, this, that, and the other. So she started again, April 2024. And she's out here doing her thing. So that is such the cool thing. You never know who you're going to meet on trail or what their story is or, what they've got going on. And in about a 5-minute span of time, just kind of hiking around each other, you can learn a lot about somebody. Of course, I spewed out my story to her in the next 2 or 3 minutes. And then we realized we saw each other at the Dodge Hostel a couple days ago. Oh, man, so funny. But just certainly a good conversation. And then right after I got done talking to her, and of course, she's through hiking, so she's ahead of me now. I think I said this the other day. The AT is part of what they call the Pimmy Loop, which is like a 31 mile loop around the Pemigewasset or I think it's Pemigewasset forest in this area. And just met 4 people out doing the Pimmy Loop. And man, they were fun. They were laughing and having a good time. And so they're going to be out doing that. And then I just remembered it's the 4th of July. So happy 4th of July, everybody. All right, I'll be back. All right, y'all, just wanted to come on and close out day number 23. So this morning left Galehead Hut. I don't know the mile markers anymore. I am going to do a 10-mile day. So went up South Twin. The major mountains are South Twin, Guyot or Gio, and then Zealand Mountain. And I am on the downhill basically to Zealand Hut. And there's a side trail there where I could take the nice, flat, beautiful side trail and down to the van, kind of get reorganized, have a wonderful evening. And I've already been told that there is a chicken sandwich and tater tots waiting on me when I get down to the van. So thank you, Nancy, Martha, and Ari, for the grilled chicken sandwich and tater tots. I love you all. I hate that I missed seeing you all today, but I know we're going to see each other real soon. So anyway, y'all, holy tomoly, these last 3 days are indescribable, but I try to do my best. Sometimes remembering to record or even having the energy to do so is not there, but you could probably tell my mood is a little bit different because as soon as I get down, got another obstacle. As soon as I get down all these slabs I got to go over. I will have a restful evening in my own bed, and I'm looking forward to that. And I am going to come back up that trail tomorrow, and then it's 6.5 or 7.5 miles to Crawford Notch. I'm going to make that happen. So come back up the side trail I'm going down today. Sometime tomorrow, doesn't matter. It's nice and flat and somewhat regular trail, so we will knock that out. And then the next day, I am going to take off. I need it. My legs need it. My body needs it. My mind needs it. And I'm going to eat a lot of food, reorganize my hut plan, and I'll probably have a better idea of what that's going to be tomorrow. So, y'all, I don't have a clue what happened in day 21, 22. I do remember yesterday, but I sure appreciate y'all listening, leaving comments, reaching out, sending me DMs on Instagram, buying me chicken sandwiches. Totally awesome. So thanks for listening. Be safe out there and happy section hiking.